Stanton. A pleasure to have you at Harvard University.
Thank you.
I'll kick us off with the first question. Some of the stories that you capture on Humans of New York are snippets of larger social problems. To what extent do you think you have an obligation to draw the dots together and act as a political voice for those problems?
Zero. I pointedly, because then when you're trying to draw the dots together, are you ever truly listening to the person in front of you? Or are you trying to fit them into some sort of view of the world or some sort of message that you're trying to preach? So, I always say that no matter how valuable the political message is that you're trying to convey, if you're trying to compact people's stories into some sort of political message, you're not taking them for face value. You are pruning them and you are censoring them to fit into that political message. So I very pointedly attempt to avoid infusing any political meaning in the work, because I think when you do that, you stop listening to the individual. When I don't want to be the best at telling the story of humanity. I want to be the best at telling the story of the person that's right in front of me. And that requires thinking about them and nothing else.
Fantastic. Thank you. Your recent Indiegogo campaign raised over $1.4 million to bring the students of Mott Hall Bridges Academy to Harvard. In your time working with them, what moment has stuck with you the most?
Oh God!
I know it's a whole bunch of moments.
It was the ride of my life, and it ended up with us going to the Oval Office. Just the friendship and love that I developed for Nadia Lopez, the principal. We've become very good friends through all of this. We've kind of been partners in all of this. Just her leading us in prayer outside the door of the Oval Office. It was just very much a shared experience. It wasn't me telling their story and then just kind of, we were all doing this together. We all got those invitations together. So, I think just kind of the bond and the friendship that developed between me, her, and Vidal during that time was what I will take out of this the most, yeah.
Wonderful. One last question. In your own way, you've kind of become a character of New York. You're no longer anonymous.
Right.
Do you find that your interviewees are more purposeful in their message now that they know that they have an enormous
they absolutely
audience?
are, and I'm so good at sniffing it out. When somebody knows about Humans of New York, I tell them. I go, a lot of times people try to say the correct thing instead of the honest thing. I encourage you not to do that. And if they attempt to do it, I, immediately document it. When you ask somebody what their greatest struggle is, and they kind of stand back up like this, and they say, my greatest struggle is seeing the shared pain of humanity and knowing that there's nothing that I can do about it, yet yearning. Obviously that's constructed. If you're talking about, your brother won't quit barging into your room when you have a girl over, that might be a little bit more correct. So it's yes, the answer is yes, they've become more purposeful, but I have also become a much better interviewer. And I am very good at steering the conversation away from pre-constructed answers. And it's one of the things I take the most pride in.
I'll scoot one more question in there if that's okay.
Of course.
Where do you see Humans of New York going in the future?
I think there's two obvious answers that I haven't decided on yet. There's deeper. I think Humans of New York is not necessarily photography. Humans of New York is what happens in that bubble on the street, the interview, the process of getting a story from a stranger that's very intimate. So anywhere that bubble goes, Humans of New York goes. That can go wider, it can go into different continents, or it can go deeper, it can go into different mediums, it can go into longer form stories. So, I haven't decided yet, but, the two obvious options are to take it deeper into different mediums, or to take it wider and start traveling. Right.